My brother kept forgetting his wallet every time we went out until I found out he'd been secretly paying off our mom's medical debt instead of telling anyone. My brother Kevin and I had a standing tradition of grabbing dinner together every couple of weeks, something we'd done consistently for years. About 8 months ago, he started forgetting his wallet almost every single time, always apologizing sincerely, promising to cover the next one to make up for it. At first, I didn't think much of it. Everyone forgets their wallet occasionally, but after the third time in a row, I started feeling a quiet, nagging annoyance I didn't fully want to admit to myself. I loved my brother, but the pattern felt increasingly one-sided, and I began wondering if he was simply taking advantage of my willingness to cover the bill without complaint. The excuses kept coming. He'd left it in his other jacket. He'd meant to grab it, but got distracted, rushing out the door. Each explanation sounded reasonable individually, but together, they started forming a pattern that frustrated me more than I liked admitting, especially since Kevin had always been financially responsible in the past, someone who never usually struggled with something as simple as remembering his own wallet. I mentioned it to my wife once, half venting about feeling like I was always the one covering dinners lately. She gently suggested maybe something else was going on. That consistent forgetfulness, this specific, usually meant something beyond simple carelessness. I started paying closer attention after that conversation. I noticed Kevin's usual hobbies had quietly disappeared over recent months. No more mentions of his gym membership. No updates about the video game he used to talk about constantly. His apartment, when I visited once, seemed sparser than I remembered. Fewer little indulgences he used to enjoy pointing out proudly. I decided to ask him directly instead of continuing to quietly resent the pattern without understanding it. I brought it up gently over what would have been another dinner, where he forgot his wallet again, telling him honestly that I wasn't upset about the money, but genuinely worried something serious might be going on that he wasn't telling me. He went quiet for a long moment before finally opening up. About 8 months earlier, our mom had been hit with a series of unexpected medical bills following a health scare that insurance only partially covered, leaving a debt that had quickly ballooned into something overwhelming for her fixed retirement income to manage alone. Kevin hadn't told me because he didn't want to worry me, or perhaps didn't want me to feel obligated to contribute financially when he felt capable of handling it himself. He'd quietly redirected almost his entire discretionary income over these months directly toward chipping away at mom's medical debt, cutting out his gym membership, canceling subscriptions, skipping haircuts longer than usual, all just to free up enough to keep sending payments consistently without anyone noticing the sacrifice behind it. The forgotten wallet excuse, it turned out, wasn't forgetfulness at all. He simply didn't have enough spare cash some weeks to comfortably cover a dinner bill after everything he'd been quietly funneling toward mom's bills. And rather than admit that plainly, he'd chosen embarrassment over honesty, letting me assume carelessness rather than reveal what he was actually managing. I sat with that explanation, feeling an overwhelming wave of guilt for the quiet resentment I'd been carrying over something so trivial compared to what my brother had actually been sacrificing silently for months. I told him firmly that this wasn't something he should be handling completely alone, that mom was my responsibility to help support too, not just his. We sat down together the following weekend, working out a proper plan to split the remaining medical debt evenly between us, something Kevin resisted at first out of stubborn pride, but eventually agreed made far more sense than him quietly draining his own life down to nothing by himself. Mom's debt is nearly cleared now, months ahead of where Kevin would have gotten alone. Dinners are back to normal too, Kevin actually reaching for his wallet again without hesitation. Sometimes the most frustrating patterns in the people we love are hiding something far more selfless underneath, and all it really takes is asking the right question instead of quietly assuming the worst.